you might. Too much, 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 too many crabs in a barrel, but I'd rather hang around family and battle. It's too much, too many dripping in sauce, and I ain't hating on nobody, they can get lost. It's too much, trying to help a nigga out, the only thing they care about is internet cloud. It's too much, niggas sounding like each other and they all dead wrong, they don't even get along. Too much, you might. 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 Too much drip, you might slip. 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 Too much.
Cause I don't play clown. Take that with you on the way down. Up and away, cause I don't play clown. Take that with you on the way down. I've been in this game for years. It made me an animal.
And what I'm trying to explain to you, ladies and gentlemen, is the real world that our children live in. Not the ideal one that we want them to live in. Not this wonderful world that we pray that will come here one day, but the real world that they have to live in. You want to know why they're acting so crazy? You want to know why they're doing the things that they're doing? Because we have not prepared them to live in this real world. We have sent them through 12 years of school teaching them this dumb stuff that doesn't work, and when they go out and try to apply it and get killed for it, we are not there.
Me an animal. I eat a fake motherfucker like a cannibal. And I don't even understand how he got that far. Cause every time he write a rhyme, it's about his goddamn car. You know the top 10 hottest in the fucking game? Well, 8 of them niggas fucking lame. It's a fucking shame how y'all put them on a pedestal. But I figure you ain't got nothing better to do.
Pinky ring up to the moon. Ain't girl, I'm so damn into you. I'm done with these models and done with these bottles, girl, I'm just trying to talk to you. We don't have to go to the room, but girl, best believe if we do, that we getting hot at the bottles, my party, so yeah, but that sound like the truth. And we can go as far as you want to, cause ain't nobody finna stop you. We ain't debumping out of this water, when we fornicating back at the Tahoe. Then that Marilla go off on my phone, I pick up to you saying you home alone. I hop in the whip, then I should put this on the wrist of your pussy, cause I know that it's going down tonight. Let's fuck it up now, just maybe go round, cause we in the clouds tonight. I'm trying to show you the time of your life, so girl, let you down tonight. Let's go a few rounds tonight. I'm lost in the sauce, and what's it gon' cost? Let's play your sides tonight. It's about to go down, it's about to go down, it's about to go down tonight. It's about to go down, it's about to go down, it's about to go down tonight. I'm lost in the sauce, so what's it gon' cost? Let's play your sides tonight. It's about to go down tonight. It's about to go down, it's about to go down tonight. With so many missed calls, I understand why you was pissed off. Let me explain for a minute before you start jumping to conclusion. I really don't understand why you doing this shit for a minute. Let me explain this. I'm sorry for all the attention I ain't paying. All of this time to give you brain, I paid it. The only one to do better than a man shit. Yeah, you baby, all day baby. You be on my mom, best believe I ain't playing. Stay up on my grind just for you is what I'm saying. Make a moves for you, be on my sculpture on the daily. So maybe be less insecure, cause you the best and that I can't ensure. Like Geico, when you progressive that I can't ignore. My A1, you my lady, and that's for sure, so stop it. Ready your head just to go and pop shit off. Also bitches that ain't even really jacking, dog. You tripping, baby, I ain't even got no options, though. And if I did, I'm in my pockets, you complete me. Oh, goddamn, you don't understand it. We ain't do what you want, you be begging cause I'm damaged. You hit me down way before I hit them dances. You fucking up the ground like a bandit. Play vacation, motivation, keep me in the studio, see deprivation. Got me going crazy, though, my body shaking. Think about that body and the love we make your faces. We used to be together forever and ever, for worse or for better. And poor with cheddar, it don't matter. You was ruining my grind, and my pockets fat. A house with a glass, one of us can shut out tonight. Let's fuck it up now, just maybe go round, cause we in the clouds tonight. I'm trying to show you the time of your life, so girl, let you down tonight. Let's go a few rounds tonight. I'm lost in the sauce, so what's it gon' cost her? It's for your size tonight. It's about to go down, it's about to go down, it's about to go down tonight. It's about to go down, it's about to go down, it's about to go down tonight. I'm lost in the sauce, so what's it gon' cost her? It's for your size tonight. It's about to go down tonight. It's about to go down, it's about to go down tonight.
Sunday. How y'all doing out there? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me well? Sunday. Welcome to Shame Sunday with Mrs.SheSaid.
Shame.
How y'all
Shame.
doing?
Shame.
Got YouTube in the building. Shout out to Facebook and IG. Y'all share this stream out. Any parents you know who need some information about the kids. It's about the kids today, that ADHD. If you don't know, you're going to learn today. You know, I'm feeling like the parents need some info. So we're going to share today. We definitely going to share today. I hope everybody is well. Give y'all a second to pull up and pop in. Oh, man. It's been a unique month. This is why it's brought my attention to this topic, to share some information, you know, some natural remedies, some tips, some strategies, because I'm hearing y'all struggling. It's all in the comments. When I post stuff about these kids, it's in the comments. So we're going to pull those up. We're going to share some videos. I got a couple of books to share with y'all. So get some pen and paper, some great people to, you know, tap into to get more information so you can do better, so your children are capable of doing better. It's very important. I'm tired of hearing all the excuses about, I don't know, there's no resources, please. There wasn't no resources 40 years ago. Times have changed. Grow up. This is where we at. Shame. Do it better for the kids, man.
Shame. Shame.
And if you don't know and it's your child, it's your responsibility to seek knowledge. It's your responsibility to learn. It's your responsibility to get educated for the betterment of your children. And if nobody has told you, I'm telling you now, so listen up. Do something about that, because everybody is not taking care of their stuff. So if it does not apply to you, let it fly. But a lot of you chicks out here,
Shame.
enough is enough. Knowledge is power, and it's important to have it for our children. What's up, y'all? What's going on out there? Let's get to it, y'all. Red Lipstick Vibes is in the building. Hey, sis. Hope all is well. BK Dino is in the building on IG. I appreciate you popping in. Alaj Baba is in the house on IG. Appreciate you. Quantum, hey, Quantum. How you doing? Peace, everyone. Jackie popped in. Hey, Jackie. I see you over there, sis. Some good info, man. You know, and some of the people, us adults, have some tendencies of ADHD as well. So some of these tips and strategies may assist you also. My husband is in the building. Moderator is in the building. One of the greatest men I know in my life is in the building. You are appreciated. We're going to talk about it because it's hard. It's not easy raising these kids, even the ones who don't have special needs. Okay, so these strategies work for all. All right, so we're gonna get into it. This is a book. Y'all don't know what books look like. Natural Remedies for Kids.
Hero for that, baby.
I actually picked this up in Five Below. So if anybody is, you know, aware of Five Below, it is a store uniquely made for kids with so many, you know, things and gadgets and all kinds of stuff. So, you know, sometimes you can really find some good information in there. All kind of journals, joke books, dyslexia books, nutrition books, cooking books, all kind of things, you know, kid friendly, and very inexpensive. So take a look over the book table and see what's there to offer, because it's a lot of information. When I can look and find 4 or 5 books that focus on children's health and mindset, and, you know, to have so many people say there's no information, you know, it's bullshit. Okay, enough is enough. So we're gonna give you a little bit. You know, and there's no shame on you, you know, but you can't keep having this excuse of you don't know better when you start to have children, okay? Because it's our job to be as educated as possible so we can educate them. Because if we're not going to be able to educate them. And a lot of the children are struggling from what I hear. So if you watched any of my other videos, I've dived into Miss Brianna Henderson. She is the educator's advocate. You can look her up, Google her, email her if you are an educator and you would like to make appointments to have her come out to your district and, discuss strategies and advocacy for the children. Because it's very important. So please, Brianna Henderson, the educator's advocate, you can find her anywhere. TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and her email is just that at gmail.com. The educator's advocate at gmail.com. Get your pens and paper so you can take this information down. It's very important. The kids are struggling. The kids are struggling in school. They're struggling at home. And we are struggling managing their behaviors. And y'all are looking to the doctors, seeking assistance. They only know what you provide them with. They are only going to be able to diagnose your children with the information that you provide them with. If you don't know your child, it's going to be kind of hard. You have to pay attention. Look up the information of what's troubling your child. Okay? We cannot depend on the city, the state, the school, because we are in a society where we don't have a community to raise our children. There's no village. Nobody wants to listen to anybody. Nobody wants to take constructive criticism about what they're doing with their children because we think what we're doing is best. And a lot of us are not doing the best for our children, making a lot of excuses, putting them in situations they're not prepared for. You have to prepare them. It's your job. So we're going to learn some stuff today. I hope y'all are ready. And this is over time. I've always loved children. I've always been a babysitter, surrounded by children, foster kids who were addicted to drugs. I was between 9 and 11 years old, surrounded by this and watching their growth and development from coming directly from the hospital to being around them almost 3 years. These children are very capable of learning so much, depending on the environment they come from. And some of it is in just their genetic makeup. But you can work with them, okay, to, get them to be able to focus to some degree. Because the brain is not calm. It's interrupted with a lot of frequencies that's not connecting. So it's our job as parents. So I'm going to try to help and give y'all some information from, other parents and pediatricians who have been studying your children. So let's pay attention, okay? Let's see a little video real quick. Natural Remedies for Kids. Again, you can Google the book. It looks like this. It's not the same look of what I have, but it's actually the same book. Amazon has it, again, 5 below. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on. And it's a particular chapter called Emotional Needs and Ailments. I'm going to discuss a little bit about hyperactivity and attention deficit disorder in some children, what we can do to help them, for you to help yourself. And there are natural elements that you can actually use to try, because the doctors really just want to put your children on drugs and experiment. And it's a trial and error that I'm hearing from a lot of parents, getting them on the right drug versus trying some natural things, changing their environment, especially their diet. Let's get a video up that I pulled up from one of the doctors, and they're going to tell you a little bit about ADHD. Dr. Russell Barkley, the HDH kid, he's going to give y'all a little information so we can have some clarity. Okay, moderator. Dr. Russell Barkley. Yeah, that's not it.
First, you need to be much more consistent with your rules and consequences in raising this child than normal parents need to be. And that's not because you're going to engineer the ADHD out of the child. It's because you're going to make this child less disabled from their ADHD by doing that. ADHD is not information deficit disorder, so kindly shut up. Act, don't yak. The more you blather, the more you natter, the more you nag, the less influence you have. So stop thinking that one more sentence will be enough to tip the scales in favor of obedience. It isn't, right? If I can just say it one more time, I know he'll listen. So on the 20th time, there you are, fingers crossed behind your back. Okay. So say it once, then back it up. What these kids listen to more than anything are the immediate consequences, not the nattering, not the nagging, not the moral essays on why you should clean up your room to avoid meningitis. Now, with ADHD children, you've got to get their attention. One of the easiest ways to do it, and also an affectionate way, is to touch them. So I want you to put your hand on their arm, on their hand, or around their shoulder. When you talk to them, I want you to look in their eye, and with that Clint Eastwood look, I want you to keep it short and sweet. What do you want done? What are you trying to say? Or is this positive feedback? Is this approval? Is this recognition? Is this praise? But touch, then talk. Keep it short, keep it sweet, get to the point, and then back it up.
Short and sweet. And with children with ADHD, they absolutely need that. To know that something is about to happen, the situation is about to change, and I need you to focus. And with that clear tone, you can't be passive, you can't be whining or nagging with these children. And with these types of children, you cannot give them a multiple of directions. One direction at a time. Have them follow through and give praise. Follow through, give praise. That is needed, okay? So they're clear that that they did what you asked them to do specifically. And you have to be clear. You have to set consequences for foolish behavior, not following directions, and it does not have to be severe as an ass whooping. You do not have to beat your children. You know what they like. Some of those things may need to be stripped for a day or a couple of hours, or it needs to be understood that it's not deserved because they're not following the directions that's given. So clarity is very important, and you cannot give these types of children a whole bunch of directions at one time, one step at a time, okay? And it really starts early. The earlier, the better. Talk to your children from the time they come out the womb like humans. Clarity, not baby talk. Because I'm going to show you what ADD, if it was a person, this is what it looks like. It really is. And we're going to show you. And it's some adults who are inflicted with this as well. And it's not a joke. But there are things that you can do. There's strategies that you can take to create better habits. And consistency is important. So if ADD was a person, this is what it would look like. It's labeled that.
Let me ask you a question. You looking at me?
Yes.
If you was on the boat right now, look at me. You gotta look at me.
I was on the boat.
Look, you just. Let me ask you the question.
I wasn't on the boat.
Listen, let me ask you the question. If you was on the boat, look at me. If you was on the boat full of chocolate and bananas.
Wait.
Listen, hold on, listen. Just listen.
No.
Just listen.
The boat.
Devon.
When I was on the boat, it was a shark under the water, so I had to swim away.
Okay, but Devon, listen to what I said.
There's a shark.
If you was on a boat and it was covered in chocolate and bananas.
Wait, what is that?
What would you eat first?
I ate donuts.
Oh my gosh, Devon.
Donuts and
Devon. Devon.
Huh?
If you was on a boat with chocolate and bananas, what would you eat first, the chocolate or the bananas?
The chocolate.
Okay, thank you.
Looks familiar. Does this look familiar? Adults who have this short attention span as well. Mhm. And some of it is learned behavior. And if we don't correct our children, they will continue. They will continue. So I advocate for not putting any type of devices in their face until they're capable and functionable enough to read basic phonics. It's just a suggestion. Those electrical waves coming off of these devices, I don't believe is healthy for them. I really don't. It takes away from their concentration. They can sit and pee and shit on themselves because they don't want to walk away from the device. They'll neglect themselves from eating because they're so enticed by the device. It's releasing all types of dopamine in your children. They're getting drugged without even ingesting any drugs. Pay attention to that. I am not a medical professional. Ask your pediatrician. There was a time when television was too much, when we were to monitor the children's television watching. So now that we have all these devices and society promotes that you put these things in front of your children, it's an easy babysitter. You have to own that. You have to sit in that. Take it away. Take it away. Come up with natural remedies. Be present. Don't let the device raise your children. Their little brains can't handle all of that. And then we wonder why when we send them off to school, they're having difficulty. You didn't prepare them. It's your job to prepare them before they go into any type of school setting. Children deal with a lot of anxiety because they're not aware. They don't know the world around them. This is why it's our job to teach them how to act when we leave about this house, how the world is outside, how to be kind and have manners and show people respect when you're outside. Stay in your lane when you're outside. How you behave with others. This is important. So when they don't see that and we thrust them off into school and they're challenged with being able to sit still and focus, point the finger. Something's wrong with my child. And it's just because you didn't train them. Okay? Hey, OG Patrice, how are you? Glad you can join us. We're talking about some natural remedies for kids. We're focusing on ADHD. I'm not a medical professional, but I've been around children since I was a child. And I've always want the best for them. At 23, when I was told I was pregnant, I swear this was one of the books that I went out. There's a lot of people that probably have something like this, The Complete Guide. They used to promote it on TV to natural healing. And when you purchase it, you know, you buy the different packets and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And you wind up getting a whole lot of information, a lot of great information. It's not out there no more. I don't think this is really promoted. I'm not sure if y'all can still get it, but it's a great tool. And it always motivated me to veer towards something more healthy. You know, I don't know if it's just because we grew up in poverty and we didn't visit the doctor a lot, you know, so we didn't have a whole bunch of the medicines and things like that, you know. Cod liver oil was absolutely something I do remember, you know, castor oil, you know, those things. Some of the grandmothers used to make these tinctures, you know, for when you got sick. And, you know, it had a whole bunch of stuff in it. It's probably had apple cider vinegar and cinnamon sticks, little peppermint, you know, the cloves and things like that. So, you know, I don't know if y'all remember those things, but those were important. It kept us pretty healthy, kept you really regular, those nasty medicines, right?
Old school, new school, need to learn those.
But they worked. They were really good for us. And I think we need to get back to that when it comes to, you know, start bringing these new babies into this world. You really need to consider the natural elements and diet. Because when I did a lot of my research, ADHD, you know, it has a lot to do with the brain and what the kids are not getting. And it has to do with the food, the over processing of the food and not introducing children to fruits and vegetables early. You know, if they don't like it, they don't have to eat it. But we can make it palatable for them. And if they see us shoving it down our throat, they will too. But if you're shoving down burgers and fries and nuggets and shit, they're going to do that. Soda for children. Yeah, it's not okay. It's not healthy for them. It's not healthy for their body, their immune system. And you need to know that. So when you come from a family that wasn't educated, that didn't consider health, it's something that in my life I decided to make very a priority. Absolutely. Because if the first 20 years was unhealthy and without fruits and vegetables, yeah, that causes some problems. So, you know, we have to consider that for our children and try to do better and break that cycle. OG Patrice chimed in. She said, I have that book too. I bought it almost 20 years ago. Yeah. Mine was actually 23. While I was praying, I was so happy it came, but this is a book we have now, and I got it from Five Below, Natural Remedies for Kids, and there's some awesome stuff in here. So I want to share. In the chapter, page 143, it's about emotional needs and ailments. So I'm going to go ahead and read some stuff. Dr. Russell Barkley showed y'all, gave y'all a little information about, how the child mind works when it comes to ADHD. So just listen up with some good info in here. Sometimes children just don't feel right, just like us. But imagine how they are when they don't know the world around them. You can't pinpoint it, but they're emotionally not in a good place. This can take the form of insomnia, I can't sleep, hyperactivity, or meltdowns. It can also mean bedwetting and other emotional and physical symptoms. This chapter will address those symptoms that don't easily fit into other categories. Help your hyperchild calm down or go to sleep naturally with some of the remedies in this chapter. And honestly, I'm gonna say even without the remedies, just regular routine. A regular routine will really help. And children need an abundance of exercise. So, at least 60 minutes of hard play. They're gonna be tired. If they're sitting around on the couch watching TV and going back and forth to the kitchen, for snacks, they're not exercising. Their minds is constantly going, but they're not going to lay down and rest well. So those things are important to add exercise to their daily activities. 60 minutes, at least 4 to 5 days a week. I would say every day, but the pediatricians say 3 to 5 days a week. You want them to sleep. All right, so we're going to talk about hyperactivity. Many children are extremely active. It's a pretty normal part of young childhood. It is normal. It's very normal for them to be active, okay, and want to be really active. A few children, though, have an extremely hard time calming down, focusing, or settling, which can create problems for families or schools. When a child is so active that they are struggling, it's called hyperactivity, and it needs to be addressed. It needs to be addressed. You, the parent, it needs to be addressed. And it doesn't mean in a nasty, cantankerous ass way. Give them something to do. So many creative elements to sit down and color and trace. Music, calming music. You have to interact with them. Most often, hyperactivity has some kind of physical cause. A lot of parents find that if they discover the underlying cause and address it, their child's hyperactivity gets much better. Pay attention to your children, okay? What to watch for? It's things to watch for. You want to know? Let's listen. Ordinary activeness is not a problem in children. Many times it can be frustrating or overwhelming for parents, but it's actually very normal. Children should be active and busy, have plenty of opportunities for physical activity each day. Many are also physical learners. Some of your children are physical learners, okay? At a young age, meaning they learn better when they are doing something hands-on or they can move around quite a lot. I am that. Even as an adult, I need to move around. It's okay. Okay. This is sometimes a mismatch for their environments. A lot of kids who are young for their grade levels are diagnosed as hyperactive because they are more physical than their more mature peers. They're just more physical, and they may learn better in an environment where they don't have to sit all day. We're going to keep going. I hope y'all listening. I'm doing this for a post I made. I made a reel with my lady, the educator advocate, where she had a young boy, and I'm gonna play it for y'all real quick before I continue. To where school said he can't stay. This thing has almost 200,000 views, 900,000 likes, and almost 900 comments, not 900,000, 900 comments, over 900 comments. Yeah, it was unique to see the comments. The parents are struggling, like they don't know what to do. They claim there's no resources out there. And, you know, for me to be in a generation of people working for psychiatric hospitals, it's a lie. There's no truth in that. If you got to do hard advocating and jump out the window for your child, you may have to do that in some cities, in some districts. But you have to put in the work and find what's best for them. And if it's home with you all, then that's what you have to do until you prepare them for the rest of the world. World class is in the building. Welcome, brother. Great stream earlier. E-Black is in the building. Hashtag shame. Appreciate you. Our Sean is in the building. Just got inside and had to say hi. Hey now. Welcome. Trying to get some information. Just trying to share some information with some you know, parents, new parents, old parents, you know, parents reflecting on what they could have did better. And when they have children, they can assist their children with how to handle some of these things. You know, because as you get older, you do get a little more seasoned, and grandparents do change the way that they was behaving with their children, with their grandchildren. It shows. But you can't let the parents come in and pander and coddle the children to the point of crippling them. Okay? Set boundaries. Okay? Rules when you drop your children off. Red Lipstick Vibes chimed in. She said, keep them busy with productive things learning. And they're not going to do that with a Kindle or a tablet or a phone in their face. Definitely little to no sugar and processed food. The pediatricians would say absolutely none. None. There's so much dye, and the dyes are affecting the children in these foods. And they crave it. Their little bellies crave it. Okay? You have to learn your child's learning style, and you can adapt the correct teaching style. That is absolutely true. That is a lie. You have to search for yourself. You have to go to war for your child. And I say this with the most sincerity because I jumped into the field of working with people with special needs and TBI very young in my life. My mother worked for Creedmoor, which was a psychiatric hospital in New York State, for 9-10 years. And I would go to work with her, and I met a lot of the people there, and the different, it was so different. They put everybody together. So now that they have more different places for different levels of special needs, autism, retardation, Down syndrome, is so many different levels. So there are so many resources now versus 20 years ago, 30 and 40. So when I came into the game working with adults, and I've seen, you know, your children as adults, I've seen all the way from 36 to 92. Okay. And the older ones came from the Willow Brook. And if you adult people do not know about the Willow Brook, Donahue did a documentary back in the 60s, maybe the 70s. It might have been in the 70s, about the Willow Brook. Was one of the first institutions for people with special needs. And yeah, it was horrible. It was absolutely disgraceful how they had our human beings in this facility. One of my aunts worked there. So I know firsthand. And some of the guys I took care of, their story was why they didn't have teeth. They were taken out because they was biting. They were biting themselves or biting others. So, you know, they would go ahead and just rip these people's teeth out. Yeah. So, you know, the times have changed. You don't have to thrust your children off because they're a shame to the family. It was Geraldo, not Donahue. Thank you, babe. Mr. Moderator. We're going to put it in the chat, but you can look that documentary up again right here on YouTube. So when I got into the field, those were the videos that they showed us in training. So the empathy and sympathy that I went into the field with was amazing. And to see so many of these humans with no family, not one, to come visit and been, you know, I would ask about their history. I want to know more because I want to know these people, and a fresh eyes coming into a 97% Caucasian community they loved. So being on the council committees, making changes, I was there for it all. So I'm not just speaking frivolously, okay? It's been a lifetime of inclusion for me when it comes to special needs people. It was absolutely inhumane, absolutely. The Willowbrook documentary is in the chat. If anybody wants to take a look at that, please feel free. Any parents who have children on any part of the spectrum, please have a look at this to see the difference from then to now and tell me that there's no resources, okay? So we got to do a better job. We got to do a better job, because I know it's some parents that just want to be a victim. They want to sit on a piss pot and not make the situation better when you have all the tools and resources in front of you. So help your child by helping yourself, okay? The whole community, the whole world, we would appreciate it. Dr. Nkumbe is in the building. How you doing, Doc? I appreciate you. Real doctors in the building. So I'm gonna play this video for y'all so y'all can see what, you know, motivates me to continue what I'm doing, trying to share some knowledge, because there's a lot of people that don't have the tools and, you know, the strength to advocate for themselves or either their children. Those are just the comments. I want to play her video of the boy. Can't stay. It's in there. Yeah, again, like I said, it was over 900 comments, and it was many educators who supported her message. So y'all gonna listen to her right now. Let's go, Brianna Henderson.
How it ended.
What? He can't stay. He can't stay. He's showing out bad, and he ain't stopping. He finna get a whooping. And then he tore them people a whole classroom. I'm talking about flip shit over, flip tables, flip chairs, flipped everything.
Are you ready? Because educator, here comes your student. And by the way, she's back. And she is me. And can I just say bravo to my campus and district leaders for keeping me busy this time of year. Because the culture forward message will be told from campus to campus and district to district across this nation. And by the way, if you are new here, I am Brianna Henderson, culture forward consultant to campuses and districts across the nation. So with that being said, repeat after me. He can't stay. In other words, he cannot stay. Staying is not what he will be doing. What he will be doing is not staying. I think I've made myself clear. Let us talk about the standard that is being raised across this nation regarding behaviors in school. Because while some of you who are parents of in control or being out of control children look at this scenario and think, how could they? How could they reject a child and not give them an opportunity to learn? Spare me. It is high time for those of you who send your students to a public school who know good and well that these children will tear up at a moment's notice all things pertinent in that classroom. You send them there, we're sending them back. Yeah, back to you. And if that happens enough, perhaps you will make the decision to parent. I said what I said. Here at the Educators Advocate, it is our duty and pleasure to build within educators a capacity to have a mindset, a mantra, and a movement around culture forwardness that says, this is how we will do it here. And that takes strength and courage and a posture of authority. It's the proverbial posture of Miss T. But just because I can handle Junior, I don't want to. And my educators shouldn't have to. Because here's what that will look like. We'll begin doing the hard work of watching everything that the child is doing, making corrections and giving congratulations, all while handling 23 other children. When you can do that work at home with one. So do it, so we can do our jobs. This school has just begun and my educators have already identified those children. And educators, I have a resource for you in building the positive classroom culture that you so desire. But it all starts with you being the adult. And you will find that and more beginning on page 7 of Miss T's Cup of Culture, the 30-page digital downloadable ebook that you need to get into your hands today.
Yeah, it's the message. It's the message. If your child is one of those kids, they are not playing. They can't stay. They can't stay. Okay? It's easier for you to train up your child's behavior than a teacher that has to teach 22 to 30 other children. We have a lot of parents who do the self-diagnosing as well. Get your child looked at. Don't self-diagnose. But let's get back to this attention deficit. Yeah, it can begin. It can begin in childhood and often persist into later life. That is categorized by persistent difficulty in maintaining attention and concentration with a degree of impulsivity. We see it a lot in adults. A lot of us battle. So some of these, tinctures and herbs may help you as well. Try them, okay? See if it helps. Hyperactivity is also the condition of being abnormally or extremely active. Some children need it. If your child is extremely active, give them plenty of time to play outside, plenty of time to play outside, even in the house. Get one of them individual trampolines so they can jump on. They have the bungee cords that you can hang to the doorway and they can bounce up and down till their minds is sick. The exercise ball, you can bounce on that. You can get from Five Below. So many things. And you have you folks exercise with your child. Play with them, jump around, squat, jumping jacks, all of it. Do it. You have to model the behavior. Children learn what you model. Okay. Quantum's in building. Again, like I said, get them looked at. Before labeling a child as hyperactive, consider whether their level of activity is actually developmentally appropriate. True hyperactivity, though, means nonstop motion, an inability to focus, and sometimes hurting others or breaking things because of the extreme activity. It may lessen this by giving them opportunity to express all of that exerted hyperness that they have. You can't beat it out of them. You can't punish it out of them, and you cannot nag it out of them. Can't scream it out of them either. Name calling is not going to work. Labeling your child bad is not productive. If they're bad, they got it from you. Let's get to some comments. Thanks, babe. I'm not hearing the problem. World class. OG Patrice, Dr. Kuntz, sharing pleasantries. Appreciate y'all. Bravo. Thanks, Quantum. She said she was going to beat him, though, as if that worked. Yeah. I had to hold her mom accountable, and she made it seem like she beat him enough so they didn't behave the way they did. And I had to say that beating you doing ain't working. Ma'am, it's not working. We're going to have to do something else. Straight to her face. Oxymels are kid-friendly remedies. Look for the knowledge, y'all. It's out there, right? They will model what you do. They will model what you say. If it comes out your mouth, they're going to repeat it. If you say it enough, it's going to be their favorite word. Bitch, no, stop, what, move, get out of here, don't say that. Yeah. It sticks in their head and they know how to use it, tone and everything. And some mothers, some parents think it's funny. Some parents try to correct right then and there. And then you're shocked because they say it. That's what they've been hearing, even in the womb. Even in the womb. Hey, American Negro is in the building. How you doing? Welcome. No, it's been appreciate you coming back for another thing Sunday. Oh man, the kids, y'all. We gotta put the effort in. All right. Let's get to the comments. Oh yeah. Yeah, let's get to the comments because I want y'all to know where it came from. Y'all want to go back to my post on this reel on Facebook.
If I do the work.
Comments were amazing. I just put it in the video so y'all can see. Some kudos, but you had some resistance. My granddaughter needs help. So this is when I sent her the link. Hopefully she gets it and her granddaughter gets it. Because it was definitely a couple of people in there looking for some assistance. So I actually correspond back and forth with some folks, gained a lot of followers because they appreciated what she said and they're looking for her assistance as well as just some knowledge, to help themselves.
The results will come.
Another one says, say it. I worked with the kids that were wild and I finally sent kids home. And they're calling DCF. Ma'am, your child is tangled in my hair because he attacks. So yeah, he's going home. It's not that I can't control your child. I shouldn't have to. Teachers should not have to. Educators do not get paid to control your child's behavior. You have to prepare them for that. They should come equipped, ready to learn. This is what I told her, that teaching starts at home. And you got a lot of slack. It was a lot of slack. So let's get back to these comments.
If I do the work.
This is a continuation from one, cooperation. This one, she was stating that she has a child and had a lot of issues, and she was in a district where she was able to receive a lot of assistance, which, I applauded her for and told her it was her parental advocacy, which is what you are supposed to do. So she was going back and forth. This was a great comment because it is people who are challenged when it comes to their children. We don't know what type of children we are going to birth, and they may have some struggles. And it's our job to find the best fit for them, home, school, environment, friends, family, in a positive way. Let's continue the comments.
The results will come.
That is understood and a good point. I agree. Parents should be responsible. I'm speaking from a biased point of view. Yeah, she came in hard. And I expressed my opinion, and this is her response back to me. My son was constantly sent home from school for behavior issues and was later diagnosed with autism. And his behavior was related to sensory overstimulation. It wasn't apparent at first that he had special needs because he didn't follow the classic signs and symptoms. I would not have been able to get my son the help he needed without, and that was that comment right before, without district's help and, just everybody being on the same page. But again, her awareness was the first viewpoint. So she knew something was going on, and then other people will step in and say, hey, these are the resources that we offer. Look into them. Some people just don't follow up. Thanks, Grace.
If I do the work, the results will come.
This one was, she was expressing letting TV and technology be a babysitter doesn't help either. I once had a mom at a parent-teacher conference tell me she forgot her 8-year-old son had been on his game for 8 hours. No lunch, no dinner. Who does this? This is just one small example. Believe me, after 17 years, I have many. She has many. Yeah, it's real. They will starve themselves. They will starve themselves, okay? Yeah. Kismet, sad to say, but behaviors are not the fault of the child. That child may be suffering from something that is beyond his control. However, if this is a problem, there are actual behavior specialists that can help. However, yes, rejecting them will help you now, but don't say nothing when are a victim of a circumstance. Yeah.
If I work smarter.
Either that or you will be sitting in class with him every day because his behavior should not interrupt. His behavior should interrupt his parents' life, not everyone else around him. It shouldn't be a one-size-fit-all situation, but it's definitely time for change.
The results will come. If I
Another educator. Bravo. As a former teacher, I can say that I experienced students who demonstrated extreme behavior in my first grade classroom, flipping desks over, pushing bookcases over, clearing books and supplies off of a table and desk because they were mad about something that happened before they even came into my classroom. It was extremely disruptive to the learning environment for the other children. Bravo. Bravo, educator advocate. He can't stay. He, she, they cannot stay. Let them stay at home and interrupt your life. It's not fair to the other children because on the other end, if it's your child and your child got hit with a chair because of another child, you're gonna lose your rabbit ass mind. So consider your child's behavior when you're putting them in an environment with other people's children. That is very important. And that should be the empathy and sympathy that one parent should feel for a group of other children being affected by your child.
This is a work of art.
We make a lot of excuses. Prepare them children before they get to school, okay? Starts from the time they come out your womb.
Work harder. The results will.
While some think it is cruel to send a child home, I bet that they would sing a different tune if that same child hurt theirs with his out of control behaviors. School do not have the personnel or the space to deal with out of control behaviors. They do not have psychologists or psychiatrists on staff. They do not have blank rooms to take a child to or trained staff to safely remove the child. As the many teachers who have suffered serious injuries inflicted by out of control little ones. Yeah, it's a lot. This is Ms. Dawn. She's become a follower and we communicate in the back and talk about this, honestly. So I hope she shares this stream with other educators that she has quantum checked in. To this day, I remember the kids that behaved like that when I was in school. Yeah, it wasn't many. And if it was one, parents didn't play. They came up. You could hear the parent yelling in the hallway or whatever, like, it may not have helped, but they stepped in quick. It wasn't something that was sat on. The child was allowed to just continue to distress everybody else. Arrest the parents. AR's in the building. Goddamn terrorists sometimes. We just need to get in a space where parents own up to your DNA, own up to your actions or the lack of modeling behavior and structure and organization. All of that is important for little people. It's very important for adults, but little people, it's extremely important. And it's your responsibility, first and foremost. And if you don't teach them, you're sending them out to, have a whole bunch of issues.
Come. If I stick at it.
Grace, of course, from the video, he can't stay. He could have special needs. He needs an evaluation and support. I hate that this is the norm in a lot of school districts due to the lack of resources. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. It has nothing to do with the lack of resources. It has to do with the lack of parenting, the lack of education to parents. It's a lot of parents, a lot of adults who lack education. It's hard to educate your children when you lack it. We can't keep making excuses. Like I said, it is so many more resources than it was 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago. Google is your best friend. Where do I get help? And I swear to you, it would pop up. Every resource you possibly need will pop up on your search engine in your area. Okay? I did it today. And if I put my mother's area in Florida, it's going to give me the stuff there as well. Do the work. Do the work. Some families have never had any of this in their life, and then they get a child and it happens and they have to do the work. You can't expect anybody to do the work for you. The what ifs, this child, no, the child is a terrorist. This is not the first time. Child has no special needs. He just was not trained up. And of course, he needs a lot of time to exert the hyperactivity that he has. Vonnie's comment, she said, the way these women glorify fatherless homes and single motherhood like they laid down with the intention to do it alone is crazy. These conversations went back and forth, so it's probably maybe like 13, 14 comments back and forth, going back and forth with stop pandering and coddling these parents. Y'all creating these children. Forcing on anxiety. How a little 5-year-old know he got anxiety? They say it. They hear y'all say it. They learning right from you. Let's look at some more comments.
Results will come. The results will come if I refuse.
This one's Karina. My son was 3 and I had a busted lip. People questioned my husband. Yeah. And when they saw was my son, they thought was a child he had never seen or lived through trauma in my family. Before you judge the mother that's seen a pediatrician, their child who's had an EEG scan on his brain, 4 autism screenings, 3 ADHD screening, 2 dyslexia screening, PPE courses. That's a course to help me as a parent. Yeah, she went in and all the stuff she had to do. She took it personal. Y'all got to stop taking so many messages personal. That is your personal experience. And I'm glad you advocated and did the work that you needed to do for your child to find out what's best for them. That's what you're supposed to do. Don't complain. Don't throw it up in somebody's face. And all these children who exhibit these behaviors are not autistic. That's why I came with this. Because a lot of these come from their diet and the sugar. And them damn devices. And no structure, no organization, no reading books. That's a lot of you. And your DNA. Do something about that. Because everybody is not taking care of their stuff. So if it does not apply to you, let it fly. But a lot of you chicks need to wake the hell up. Grow up. You're a mother now. It's your damn job. To
quit. The results will come.
Basic respect and self-control starts at home. It is not somebody else's job to teach your child how to act when they are hired to teach a group. I used to see kids act like literal animals in class and wonder what the F happens at home. I would never. I went to school, did my work, followed basic rules, and went home. I had a hard childhood too. Doesn't mean it gave me the right to go to school and act a damn fool. So many adults now lack simple self-control because their parents wanted to be their friends and not their parents.
This is a work of art.
I ain't your damn friend. Don't you ever bro me. Y'all are comfortable with that. It shows a lack of education. First of all, I'm not your brother. Okay? I find it very disrespectful. But some people promote the nigga shit, the ignorant shit. And you wonder why they're so damn confused. They're very bright. And we're taken away from the potential by not creating a structured, organized environment where they can flourish. And then we thrust them off to school and claim they have a whole bunch of fucking issues. That's my problem. You had 5 years before you sent them off. You should have did a little bit more. But you know what? Things can change. 30 days. You can change it. You have to do the work. Takes a lot of discipline and a lot of patience, and a lot of people don't have that because adults have this ADHD. Y'all can't focus, can't concentrate. You have to own that.
Shame.
Challenge yourself to sit still with your children that can't sit still. Challenge it. If they can do it for 3 more minutes than they did yesterday, that's a plus. Like, reward it. Red Lipstick Vibes chimed in. Facts. They are not, but it's so easy to get them labeled as such. Absolutely. I mean, that's another provision provided. If something's wrong with my child, I get a check. Even if nothing's wrong with your child.
Need to be right.
So big here.
Hellfire in the mouth, woman.
But again, like sis, I've seen so many people been told that their child wasn't going to be able to write or read or do, functional things. And, by the grace of God and by the actions of the parents, that child flourishes. They flourish. And it's possible. And it may not be all, of course. Some genetic coding is just different. Donique is in the building. Hey, hey, welcome, welcome. So if changing us is going to better our children, you need to do it. You need to do it. Basic respect. That shit starts at home.
If I never give up.
No such thing as bad children, just bad parenting. Yes, I said what I said. Don't argue with me. Argue with your mama. Joanne feels me. She feels me. And y'all are quick to label your children that way. I'm out a lot. And that'll be if a child is just, and they'll just look up like he's so bad or she bad. Like, okay, let's build on that. Because, man, Donna said, bravo. As a former teacher, I can say that I experienced students who demonstrated extreme. I think I read that one. That might be a repeat one.
The results will come. If I am committed to find.
Man, that was a whole bunch of accolades. Amen. True. Yes. I approve this. Let's see. Jen said, from 0 to 3 or 4, they let the kids do what they want with no structure. Then they want to put them in school and think they're going to be good. How? When you didn't teach them any home training. Ms. Ross said it. Samantha said, it's high time that some administrators follow the simple task of holding students responsible for their behaviors. We dealt with a whole school administration that ignored even what a therapist set forth as far as holding our son responsible for his behaviors. The parents wanted to hold the child responsible for his behaviors, and the school was neglecting to do it. But some parents is like that. Call me. My child act up, call me. They ain't calling. Red chimed in. Indeed, mine graduated with honors, plays the piano, loves math and music, and will tell you what he means and what he said. LOL. Told me I am a man.
This is a work of art.
I'm a man now. I don't eat noodles. I'm a man. That's right. Sure. I had a consumer who they said was mentally a 3-year-old. I mean, and he really behaved like a 3-year-old. White guy. He had to have been about 38. Glasses. He wore suspenders with little shorts and all of that. And he was 3 years old, and he had to have been like 6, 7. And when his father came, an old man, this child would run over to his father and climb on him like a 3-year-old. And daddy would pick him up. And I said, sir, you getting kind of old, your legs are strong. He said, I take care of myself, like very happy and, loving to this grown man child that they've had to educate and rear all these years. And he was very capable of letting someone know he needed to use the bathroom, whether he signed it or not. Like, he was really 3 years old. So it's amazing, you know, for him to be a 3-year-old and be able to follow directions and do what he needs to do. He had some tantrums, absolutely, but, you know, redirect, and it worked. Things he liked. So when I see that capability and know that back in those days, those people didn't have places to send their children. Those children learned all that at home. They learned all that at home. The resource place I worked at was like a day school. So you had all these groups of people of inclusion, from total care to people who actually went out and worked and got a paycheck, but couldn't live out on their own. And it was like a school for them. And they took it as work and school. So there's so much more resources now than it was many, many years ago. So let's stop making excuses and find what best works for your child and you as a whole, okay? Because you need help too. It's not easy. You need a support group. You need other parents to talk to and share things with, and other families for your child to have a regular inclusion with, because it's important. They're all looking for each other. Y'all need to figure it out. It's not easy, but it's doable. What Red saying. Remember, Caleb is a man.
Boys don't eat that.
Why?
Boys don't eat. I don't eat noodles. I'm a grown man.
Wait, the results will come.
All right, this is a few. My child better have never. My kids knew that school or bus driver better never call me. Sally, he can't stay. If your child cannot behave, let them stay at home. I applaud this. Yes. Why don't they have educational boot camps? Can't afford it. Can't afford it. Do that shit at home.
For questions or complaints, please contact the manufacturer.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
If I learn more.
Kat said he can't stay because teachers would be on Channel 5 News for speaking in tongues and laying of the hands. Discipline your own kids at home first, because teachers need their jobs. They're there to teach kids, not fight them. And someone will have a cell phone recording. It's but so much teachers can take. We need our teachers to teach our kids. It's a blessing, not a curse. He can't stay. I'm in total agreement.
I've been waiting to say this all year, and I'm going to say it. And this is a good time. Get the stepping.
Yeah, this is a reality check. It's a reality check. Your kid ain't going to be able to stay. They ain't playing. They're tired of dealing with behaviors. Teachers are tired of being beat up on and having to spend their time disciplining your child and not educating a group of kids. Because that's what they get paid for. Discipline your own damn kid at home. Thanks,
Apply
Kat.
that learning. The result.
He has to be in school. No, he don't. Who said he got to be in school? I'm just going to respond to that real quick. The No Child Left Behind law requires it. Look it up. Y'all look it up. Google it. Google it yourself. Do your own research. Okay. And they have special schools for children like this. Who said the child has special needs? A lot of assumptions. Bad behavior does not mean special needs and autism. Sorry. With well-trained staff, that will help. The real issue is districts. So it's the district's issue. Okay. Do want to pay for, though they don't want to pay for the busing and cost for them to do so. No. They don't want to pay to change your child's behavior. No, that's not what our tax money pays for. You teach your child before they come out into society. That's your job. Before there was school, children was homeschooled. This public school invention is new to us. Don't get it twisted. It's a privilege. And when you don't know it and your children have no gratitude for it, and neither do you, that's a problem. They're going to go in and not get anything out of it. This is why our children read on a damn 7th grade level, high schoolers, math on a 4th. USA kids are not that goddamn bright with all these goddamn degrees, but your children are dumb. We gotta work. We gotta do a better job. Don't throw a goddamn degree at me if your child is not reading in excellence. Okay, that's not a pride moment when your children are struggling. That's not a pride moment. Your focus is in the wrong direction, in my opinion. Send your children out into the world prepared, even at 4 and 5. It's possible. Create a school setting. Show them how the day is going to go. They'll adapt. But when you send them unprepared, it's a whole bunch of anxiety. There is so much. And the kids know the word because y'all spew it into their head. Nervousness and anxiety. How they got a degree and their child can't read?
You know who the daddy that chop
Y'all
with
pride is in the wrong place. Your pride is in the wrong place. In my opinion. It's a lot of comments. Seems more in favor of.
If I
Yes, I was told my daughter broke down crying, upset because she was placed next to students who weren't taught how to behave. And that child kept interrupting her while she was just trying to complete her work and doing what she knows school is for, to learn. On top of that, the children who are behave gets less engagement because the teachers are busy with the other foul ass behaving children. They get more attention, which is something they learn at home. If I misbehave, I'll get more attention.
Shame. I don't want to go.
And it's learned behavior. Any attention I can get, I'm going to get. Just like many of these artists, any publicity is good publicity. That's what y'all teaching the kids.
I believe the results will come.
This exact scenario is why I left the profession. We provided plenty of support and resources for the family, but no one provided the support and resources to us. Just deal with it until said resources work. If they work, or maybe just deal with it this school year and next year they're someone else's problem. After 17 years, I couldn't do it anymore. And anything I loved and went to school for is now something I want to do. My education down the drain. Amen. It's educators. They're tired. They're drained. It's not the same. It's not the same. This exact scenario is why I left the profession. Yeah, we provided plenty of support and resources for the family. Plenty. That's what it says. I don't think she's just gonna lie.
Believe in me. Believe in my work.
There's absolutely is help. There's absolutely help for parents with out of control children, but you have to seek for it. Then the child has to participate and you have to participate as well. You can't turn regular classrooms into special needs classrooms for behavior disordered children. No child can learn in that environment. It's not fair to the other children or yours because teachers aren't trained to deal with emotionally disturbed children. I worked in CPS for a long time. Your best bet is to get them help before they get bigger and stronger. And instead of throwing a chair, they're throwing you. Thank you for your work. All right. I hope y'all hearing it. Parents, it's your job, it's your duty, it's your responsibility. The most essential, natural, make-at-home remedies and treatments for your child's most common ailments. We're going to get back to some of this, the hyperactivity, how to treat. Y'all ready? Get some pen, paper. clip it at this point or whatever. How to treat. There are several ways to help hyperactivities. These suggestions may help children who have both serious and minor hyperactivity. The first one is food sensitivities. That's the top of the list. Food sensitivity. So everything has a lot to do with your diet. Some children have sensitivities or bad reactions to food dyes or additives and other ingredients. And these reactions may not even be obvious. Behavior includes lack of focus, tendency toward anger or tantrums, being prone to accidents, and more. Our own children reacted poorly to food dyes when they were young, which prompted us to research them and then remove them. Look for red dye number 40, blue number 2, yellow number 5, or number 6, and other colors on labels. You have to look for these things on these labels, and most of the stuff has it. So eliminate those things from your children's diet. Be careful, they're in almost everything. But luckily, there are many foods on the market today that don't use them. And health food or natural stores don't typically stock products that use food dyes. You might consider the diet for your child. Also, they have fish or cod liver oil. Google it, look it up. I am not a medical professional. Some studies have shown a benefit from taking fish oil or cod liver oil. Both contain EPA and DHA is what your children need, essential fatty acids that benefit the brain. EPA and DHA, essential fatty acids that benefit the brain. All available for purchase in drugstores, natural stores. Try offering it in gummies or liquid to your child. Extra outlets for physical energy. That is very important. So diet, physical energy. Diet, physical exercise. Diet, physical exercise. Reduce sugar. Water, 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 and more water. It's very important. On top of environment, what they ingest in their body is like the most important part. Okay? So you really have to focus on that and attempt to change it. And if you have little people, please introduce fruits and vegetables. Introduce fruits and vegetables. Make ices with it if possible to introduce as an infant. Natural fruits and vegetables. Blend it up, put it in an icy, let them suck on it for teething. Start as early as possible. Make sure you give extra outlets. Dr. Bob in this book says there are many benefits to 60 minutes of exercise at least 3 to 5 times per week. Students achieve higher test scores, optimized learning, and require fewer medications for behavioral and mental health when exercise is a core component of their treatment plan. Core component to help with the hyperactivity of children. Reduce sugar. That's big on it. Reduce the sugar. Everything has sugar in it, so pay attention. It's difficult to accurately predict which children are sensitive in the effects of sugars and sweeteners. Parents are often better able to recognize a child who is sensitive. Avoid average or above average sugar consumption in these children can be life-changing. Avoiding it can be life-changing. Change for the life of your child. If you have been allowing your child to consume an abundance of sugar, stop. They may even go through withdrawal, seriously. You have to stop because it is messing up their brain. It's really hurting them. So consider that when you are out food shopping and buying a whole bunch of crap, okay? Because they can only eat what you give them. And if anything, add some sweetener to
too much, you might. 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 Too much, Too many crabs in a barrel, but I'd rather hang around family and battle. It's too much, too many dripping in sauce, and I ain't hating on nobody, they can get lost. It's too much, trying to help a nigga out. The only thing they care about is internet cloud. It's too much, niggas sounding like each other and they all dead wrong, they don't even get along. Too much, you might. 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 Too much drip, you might slip. 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 Too much.
Too much sugar. Too much sugar. Reduce the sugar. It's important. Reduce that sugar. Lavender essential oil. This is to help with the hyperactivity. Okay. Lavender essential oil. Try infusing this oil in the child's room or in the living room or wherever you are during the day, or putting a few drops in the child's bath at night. Lavender is calming and may improve focus. I'm not a medical professional, but I have used lavender and it has helped relax and calm and help me concentrate. A chiropractor. I'm not sure if any medical professionals or pediatricians would suggest this, but some children are hyperactive because their nervous systems aren't working quite right. Okay. Look up, vet the chiropractor. Make sure that this is what they do. They see children often who are experiencing these types of issues. Don't just go anywhere. And they work in the pediatric field. A chiropractor can gently adjust them and help them to feel better, which can in turn help them to calm down and focus better. And some should consider, some children may be struggling with this because imagine from the time you're 2 to the time you're 5, you have a device and your head is down and your body posture is not proper. Like, it affects them. It affects them. So look into that, consider that as well, as far as finding solutions for hyperactivity. So a lot of children go through insomnia. If you have had any children who can't sleep at night, they're afraid of the boogeyman, like all kind of issues, like they got to eat, they got to pee 100 times, just all of that. You have to consider. Most children struggle with sleep at some point. Like, and if it's a struggle for them, it's a struggle for us, right? Especially if you got work and school and all kind of other things. So parents of infants often feel like their babies will never sleep. Waking at night, even several times, is common until 1 or 2 years of age. Children who are older and struggle to fall asleep or wake multiple times at night may need some help falling asleep or staying asleep. So in here, they also have some pointers on that. What to watch for. Some people are not even aware. You might get real frustrated with your kid, even yell at them, some things we do. So just consider the occasional trouble sleeping is no big deal, but some children have issues for days on end. That's what we need to look into. Okay. So what you have to watch for. The occasional bout of insomnia is not a big deal. Again, a child will usually make up for it the next day or two, but ongoing insomnia, especially if it takes hours to fall asleep, if the child is waking every 40 to 90 minutes all night, or is up by 3 or 4 a.m. and can't go back to sleep, can start to take a serious toll on the family. A child who is seriously sleep deprived may encounter emotional and developmental issues, both physical and mental. A parent who is sleep deprived from being up with their non-sleeping child may be more irritable and suffer from anxiety or depression. Serious sleep deprivation should be evaluated by a doctor or professional sleep clinic. So please talk to your pediatrician about all of that. And again, you have to watch for these things. You have to pay attention to yourself and be the first advocate for you and your child. Mild to moderate insomnia usually has some causes, which may be obvious. For example, children who are sick or teething may not sleep much. Other children get into a phase where they are scared of the dark or being alone at night or not want to go to sleep. They're usually phases that last a few days to a few months. With some patience and creativity, parents can help their children find peace at night. Serious insomnia can last for weeks to years and requires professional help. A professional can run the necessary tests to figure out what is causing your child's insomnia. It may require weeks or months to figure out and stop. How to treat it. There's several ways. There's several ways to treat it. Y'all ready? There's several ways to treat mild to moderate insomnia. Serious insomnia should be evaluated by a professional, okay? Serious. Mild, we can help with that. And even for you, if you have trouble sleeping, this can help you as well. More daytime activity. Exercise, move around. Got to get your body tired. If you're sitting around all day and it's time to go to bed at night, you probably won't be able to. So same with adults. Need to exercise. Some children can't sleep well because their bodies are physically tired, even though their bodies aren't physically tired, even though they are sleepy. Try more activity, especially in the morning or late afternoon, after nap, before dinner. Lots of time to run around, jump, climb can help children be physically ready to lie down when it's time to go to sleep. And having a regular routine. So even if it's all this exertion before dinner, then dinner, read, snack, cuddle, bed, make a regular routine because it makes them more comfortable to know what's happening instead of just any time go to bed when you feel like it, when you don't want to be bothered.
Shame.
If it's 8 o'clock, it's 8 o'clock. If it's 9 o'clock, it's 9 o'clock. But from 7 to 8, have a routine, a regular routine. And if they're that active, I would say play a lot right before bed, and then now it's calm down time, which is read a book. Calm voice, enjoy the book, laugh, joke about it, point out context clues if they get anything out of it. Like all of that is building time with your child. It may help. Boogie Monster. There's something called a monster spray. There's a monster spray. Get you a water bottle, put some water in it and some bubble soap, and let your child go around the room and spray for the monsters and under the bed. And then, I don't know where they get it from. We ain't play that monster stuff, but, some kids are scared of that, depending on where they come from. But that is definitely a great idea, and they feel empowered. They feel protected. So just, consider that, the monster spray. Dr. Bob says, avoid screen time. Video games, TV, cell phones, or other electronic screen activities hyper stimulate the brain and can disrupt the normal sleep-wake cycle as well as circadian rhythm stabilization. Can mess their brain up. No devices. 2 hours before dinner, no device. Let's attempt that. Let's try that. Magnesium lotion. This is always talking about the magnesium. Shout out to Red Lipstick Vibes, where the vibe is always positive and informative. Sometimes magnesium deficiency can keep children awake, adults too, or cause middle of the night waking and inability to fall back asleep. Buy magnesium commercially or make the recipe in this book on page 163. Rub a very small amount on your child's legs or tummy just before bed. This has often been the magic solution for our children when we couldn't figure out why else they were awake. And again, I talked about the monster spray. Dr. Bob also says good dream spray, angel spray. I mean, name it what you like. And similar concepts can be quite effective, particularly if a bottle is placed at the child's bedside for extra applications if they wake overnight. The addition of lavender essential oil can be particularly useful. So within that, you can also put the lavender oil where that helps with sleeping as well. They don't have to put it on their body. Just even if you have a humidifier and you put the lavender oil in that also helps. And if everybody in the house is struggling, everybody in the house, put essential oils is good for everybody. Some children offer more food. Yeah, we had one of them. Some older infants and young toddlers wake at night due to hunger. They're growing rapidly and may not eat enough during the day, especially if they are very active or distracted during meals. Offer more food throughout the day and a good bedtime snack. We like to offer plain yogurt before bed because it's low in sugar and high in protein and very filling to help them sleep longer. Or babies also need to get to eat good meals throughout the day, not just bedtime, to sleep well. The contradictions with this: do not try to overfeed a young baby or force longer sleep stretches early. Young babies need to wake up to eat every few hours, and this is developmentally appropriate. Offering more food is appropriate for children over 8 to 9 months of age, older, who are capable of sleeping longer stretches. So remember that little babies, they need to wake up. They're going to wake up because they're hungry. Ask your pediatrician about adding, cereals and things like that into the milk just to give them a little more solid food. This is something I learned: catnip tea. Again, catnip tea is an excellent herb for calming and promoting restful sleep. Even though it makes cats crazy, it does the opposite in humans. Make tea by mixing 1 teaspoon of catnip and 1 cup of boiling water and then steeping for 5 to 10 minutes. Sweeten your tea lightly with honey or maple syrup if desired, and let the child drink as much as he or she wants. Yes, Red Lipstick Vibes talked about that as well. Catnip. Do not give honey to babies under 1 year of age. Do not offer catnip tea to babies under 4 months of age. Ask your pediatrician before you attempt, okay? Diet change is everything. Diet change. Some kids struggle with sleep because they are eating foods that they are actually allergic to or that contain too much sugar. One of our children was waking frequently due to food allergies, and once we cut the allergens out of her diet, she began to sleep much better. The top culprits are dairy, gluten, soy, peanuts, or tree nuts. Try removing one of these, especially if there are other symptoms, stomach aches, eczema, lots of tantrums, chronic diaper rash, or diarrhea. Consider a structured multiple elimination diet, such as paleo or Whole30. Look those up. Google it. Paleo, Paleo, and Whole30 to identify an allergen. Talk to your pediatrician about that as well. Environmental changes. It's gonna cause children to not sleep properly. It does it for us. It's always some environmental changes. Some babies and toddlers are very particular about the environment. That is the temperature of the room, the feel of their clothes and their sheets, like unique. One of our kids, she says one of her kids was so picky that they spent a lot of time making sure everything was just right. He outgrew it, by the time he was 2, but there's no obvious reason why a baby isn't sleeping, not hungry, not wet, not sick, and then try changing their PJs. Some of ours hate footy PJs and fleece. Yeah, we went through that, and they all different. Some don't like socks, like they peeling out of everything, no clothes, whole suit, blanket wrapped in like a worm, child. So, next time your child has difficulty falling asleep, try using some lavender. It is calming and relaxing and can help your child get a restful night's sleep. So I hope you guys take a lot of these tips and try to incorporate them into your lives as well as your children. I really hope they help.
This is a work of art.
And this last one, it's serious because a lot of our children are really becoming aware of nervousness and having anxiety. Like they know what these words and terms mean, and they get it from us. So you people who are experiencing these things, get diagnosed, okay? Before you just be saying these things, self-diagnosing yourself. These children pick these things up. They're picking up your behavior, your fears, all of that. So pay attention to yourself and how you're behaving around your children, because they can't control themselves. And obviously many adults can't either. So we need to work on this. And, it may be some pointers in here that may help for you as well. Some children, for whatever reason, struggle with nervousness or anxiety. Many children have minor worries or shyness, which is normal, but more extreme anxiety or nervousness, which leads children to avoid certain activities, is not really normal. There are ways to address both the minor and the serious. All those children's natural shyness should be respected. So, their natural shyness should absolutely be respected. Don't force children on to strangers in any way, shape, or form. Hugs, don't force hugs. Money, stop allowing them to just accept money from strangers. That is a part of grooming. Early as a young person, thinking that it's okay for strangers to just give you money. Yeah, work on that. Sitting on laps, breast hugging, for women too, crotch hugging, right in the damn crotch. Yeah, no, you can give a dap. That's cool, all of that. Chest, butt, I'd rather that. Like, be conscious with how you are forcing your children to be in uncomfortable places and not training them on how to act, on how to receive it too. Dr. Bob says anxiety that keeps a child from otherwise enjoying routine activities is a red flag and might require a more urgent or sustained professional intervention. So that's a key point. Pay attention to that. What you need to watch for. Most of the time, fears or shyness is nothing to worry about. It's just a developmental phase, or it's just the child's personality. Many children go through phases as toddlers or preschoolers where they have a lot of different fears. These could be fears of the dark, the bathtub, the toilet, usually the loud flush, etc. These types of fears usually only last a few weeks to a few months and then disappear. It is developmentally appropriate, and having patience and talking to your child about the fear usually helps. You have to talk to your children, talk it through, ask how they feel, ask them to describe it. How do they feel when it's happening? Ask them these things and see if they can articulate. Shy children, too, are normal. Some people take longer than others to warm up. This should not be considered a problem, but it should be respected as part of a child's personality. Attempts to force the child to interact with strangers are counterproductive. The more child's preferences are respected, the more he or she will open up when ready. Respect their preferences, okay? Some children are overly cautious. Some very anxious, worry constantly, and their lives are actually impacted by their anxiety. Sometimes this can be due to stress in the child's life, a new sibling, moving to a new home, starting school, parents separating, etc. In cases like these, once the child has adjusted to the new situation, anxiety should disappear. But if it impacts their lives, then see a doctor for an evaluation. See the pediatrician for an evaluation. For children who might have a deficiency or perhaps something physical or psychological going on, anxiety may ebb and flow, but never really go away. These cases may require a doctor to manage them. How to treat? This is for the simple, okay? Anxious and nervousness. There are several ways to treat nervousness and anxiety. For minor causes, you might have to do anything at all, but be patient. For more serious cases, see a doctor, possibly to try some of the tips prescribed here. Social scripts. This is a big one, right? Because some children get nervous because they don't know what to do or what is expected of them. They just don't know. Some just don't like new things. Try watching simple videos about the situation, a doctor's visits, the first day of school, going to the grocery store, going to the dentist, getting your blood taken, riding the bus. Like, show them videos of these types of things so they are aware of what's going to happen. Many children will feel more comfortable once they know what to expect and what to say or to do. Like with the please and thank you and manners. And they don't know what to do. Don't just think these little humans come out and they know what to do. You got to train them up. You got to teach them. Let's examine the fear. Again, you got to build with your children. You got to talk to them. If your child is afraid of something specific, like getting sucked down the bathtub drain, examine the fear head on. For example, fill up the bathtub with a small amount of water, sit with your child outside of the tub and pull out the drain. Put some small objects in the tub and have your child watch if they get stuck if they get sucked down the drain or not. Make sure they're big enough that they won't. Talk about how they are much smaller than your child is. Let your child hold and handle the objects. Often confronting the fear in a safe way like this helps them get over it. Examine the fear. You know, you ever come across children and they're extremely scared of an ant? Right? An ant. You're like a trillion times bigger than an ant, and ants don't bite. Like, you can just push your finger on it and squish it. You got to examine that fear. Get them through that, you know? Show them the fly swatter or something they can smack it with. Like, you know, work through it. Because you see them be afraid. Don't be afraid of that. You hear a lot of parents say that, right? Don't be scared of that. Why are you scared of that? Ain't nothing but a balloon. Bitch, I'm scared of that shit. It pops. You know? Kids be wanting to curse us out sometimes. So examine their fear. That's very important, you know. They feel heard and listened to. They want to be heard. They want to be listened to, okay? Relaxation. It's very important. If children are facing stressful situations in their lives, because some of you parents stress these kids the hell out, okay? Grandparents, school, just stress the hell out. They get stressed the hell out just by hearing you say you stress the hell out. Like, stop playing, okay? Consider that. Please try offering some kind of break from it all. Declare a movie day. Have a mommy or daddy child date in the living room with some popcorn or a damn game, some Uno. Basically, get them out of the situation and give them some one-on-one time. This reduces stress for many children. We work and get in the bag, going to school, following some dude. They need that time. And the only way you can change the behavior is being there and being consistent and giving your time. And they have a lot of the same oils for nervousness and anxiety. So again, fish and cod liver oil, the omega-3 essential fatty acids in fish or cod liver oil can help all of us to feel more calm, focused, and less nervous. Try offering your child a daily dose, read the labels for the appropriate amount, or ask a doctor. Plant-based omega-3 sources like hemp or flax can be substituted if taste or allergy restriction restricts the fish cod liver oil. And that's something to add to their diet anyway, hemp and flax. They need the omega-3. How many kids eat enough fish to get that? Their brain needs these things, okay? So throw some of that in some smoothies, ice cream, just mix it in. Mix it on in. Sis always speaks about the magnesium, and it's very essential for the children. They are lacking it. They're probably lacking it from birth. So it's important on us to be aware of that. Magnesium deficiency can make people feel more on edge or anxious. A small amount of magnesium lotion daily might help to soothe anxiety. Talk with your pediatrician. For external use only, start very small because too much can loosen the stools. So you don't want them running around with loose poop all over the place. So be mindful. A small, a little bit. When they say a little bit goes a long way, it truly does. Use 1/4 to 1/3 teaspoon on thin-skinned areas. Okay, pay attention to that. Again, the chiropractor, make an appointment to have your child looked at. Children can experience anxiety because their nervous systems are not working quite right. A chiropractor can adjust a child or help their body to function better, thus helping to eliminate some of all that nervousness. Again, get a referral from your pediatrician, ask questions, vet these chiropractors. And a lot of those are the same. So for bedwetting, those are the same things to use. Yeah, got bedwetting in there. Yep, the tea, catnip, and it's, you know, a glass of tea, chamomile, spearmint leaves. Put all of these in a nice tea before bed, and to help. And it doesn't mean to eliminate all drinks. You don't want to dehydrate the child. Some people do that, deprive them of that. Some children have an issue. You need to get that evaluated. there's a lot of help out here. There's a lot of resources. There's a lot of information. And I know it's hard to get it all at one time. So, this is really important to share with the young expecting mothers, young girls who are looking to be mothers in the future, because you may produce a child that may have some issues, maybe special needs, maybe on the autism spectrum, may battle with ADHD. Some things may be genetic. They're still doing their research. And if you battle with it, you may pass it down to your child during pregnancy. Some things are just habit, it's environment, and we play a big role in that. So again, I'm not a medical professional. I know a lot of shit though. Been around a little while, been being very observant with people and humans from the time I was a little girl. So I know some stuff. I hope this has helped. Share with anyone who is struggling, which I know so many, and I'm gonna send them directly. I might not have seen some of y'all pull up in here, but I'm gonna send it directly to you because you asked. When you ask for help, you should be here to receive the help, because it's a lot out there. And that's what I don't like, the pandering and the calling, the excuse making that we can't continue to do when it comes to our children. Can't keep doing that. You know better. You went to school. You were taught how to act. And if you didn't, it's your job to make sure your children know how to act when they get in school. Okay? Educators have one job, and that's to educate them, not to control their behaviors. And many people don't want educators putting their damn hands on your child. Nobody wants a stranger to put their hands on their child. So teach your children. That is something I've always told our children. If I'm whooping your ass, I'm whooping your ass. So when you go out into that world, ain't nobody else gonna have to whoop your ass. You're gonna know how to act. Get it done young. Pop them hands young when disrespect is out of control. Redirect. Give them things to do. Activities is so important. No sugar, very important. Take it away. Watch them go through withdrawal. Take that electronic, watch them go through withdrawal. It's hurt. It hurtsful. It's really hurt. It hurt. Because we got to detox our children from a non-substance, but it's affecting them the same way. That dopamine is there, man. They press that button, that light go on, that battery start to die, they losing their mind. Some of these kids are really losing it. And it's our job to get them back on track. And it's your job to get your ass back on track so you can get them back on track. Because prayer don't work. Not just prayer. You got to do the work. Okay? You got to do the work. And you'll see some results. So if you need to go back and rewind and get your pen and paper and get some of those things, them natural elements for these kids, please do. And it might help you. Because a lot of us adults are struggling too with paying attention and focusing. I got a couple of videos for y'all. We're going to end the stream, but I got a little video, give y'all a little bit more information. How to heal.
HD. Grapeseed extract, you would take 300 milligrams twice a day. These are approximate always. Then vitamin C twice as much. Just those two things alone will give you better focus. Then the next is omega-3. Things of salmon a week would give you plenty of omega-3. Now, if you're a vegetarian, what you do is you make yourself chia pudding with stevia. You'll love it. Just go online, make the mixture of chia pudding. Chia seeds are rich in omega-3.
Chia, hemp, and flax. Usually they have a trio mix. And you can put it in anything. Toss it over a salad, put it in some yogurt, smoothies, like vegetables. I wouldn't cook it, but anything fresh, sprinkle it over. Because you'll be sure you're getting something. Because I think a piece of salmon a week is not enough omega-3 for these kids. They need much more than that. Talk to your pediatrician. Our children are in danger. In danger.
Somebody told me this, and I know this to be true. Your kitchen is supposed to be your hospital for your family.
When you see me, how you gotta say what's up. Wanna be on my roster, but it's my love. We be living, learning, and we turn it up. Work up to your desk, hold it up. When I holler miss, hey, let me turn up. Read it every day to get that
fucked up. You know that, don't you? I see what I'm saying. I thought that's what I'm saying. That you done fucked up. No, you know that, don't you?
Yeah, this is what our kids are getting. This is other nations.
Shame.
But our nation, we champion this shit.
Shame.
We champion it, and we think this shit is cute and productive for our kids. It's not. Look how big some of them babies are. You don't think that's going to cause health problems later? And we're in a society where my mama ate like that. You know, it's been passed down. No, it's not. That's poor eating habits. Very poor eating habits. And we can't keep playing. We poor in the society. No, these kids be fresh to death. These kids be fresh. If they got a phone, then they can eat some healthy food. We can't keep pandering and coddling the bullshit because we destroying these kids. Where's the learning song? She ain't doing nothing but bigging herself up about her class. That wasn't no learning song. Were they figuring out fractions? Was that a song about the... Listen. But compared to other nations, that's not...
Shame. 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 Shame.
They sure do know how to shuck and jive and ski. We got to find more importance instead of that foolishness. These kids don't know shit about a plant, a herb, or nothing but weed. And that's our fault. That's our fault. Parents, it's your fault. If your child can't read, it's your fault. Unless they have been diagnosed with some type of reading dyslexia. Y'all got to do better. The pandering and coddling we would not be doing. We will not be doing. So educator, we're going to listen to what she got to say real quick.
ADHD child is struggling at school. Hi folks, my name is Alison Solomon. I'm an ADHD parent coach, and today I'm going to share with you why your child is struggling at school. So let's go into a classroom. Your child walks into class. The teacher says, grab your math book, get your manipulatives, go back to your desk, turn to page 23 and start problems 1 and 2. Your ADHD child, all they hear is grab your math book. So now
yeah. And all the educators are not prepared for each individual child unless they come with an IEP. Oh, he got an IEP, so I know, nah. They're all individuals and they all need individual assessment plans. They all need them because they all learn differently. But an ADHD child will not be able to take all that direction at one time. Not at all. One step at a time. And you got to have a lot of patience. And the more they know, the more they don't have to worry about what's going to happen. They know what's happening, a regular routine. It makes it easier. It makes it easier.
Look at me. Hold on. Just look and stay still. Let me ask you a question. You looking at me?
Yes.
Look. If you was on the boat right now, look at me. You gotta look at me.
I was on the boat.
Look, you did. Let me ask you the question.
I wasn't on the boat.
Mm-hmm.
they go back to their desk, they sit down, they have no clue what to do, and one or two things happen. Either they become disruptive because they're kind of bored, or two, they sit there like this because they have no idea what to do, and now they're labeled as rude, defiant, or not trying hard enough.
They're labeled right away. And I went to school to get a degree in early childhood instruction. And yes, I went back and forth with the psychologist discussing that. So you're telling me that I have to sit in the class and start labeling these kids? That's the protocol? I'm focusing on that and not education and being creative and finding ways to assist this child. Yeah, that's what they was teaching me. It's a child. It's a different working brain. There is a knowing that they can do. They know what they have to do, but the performance part it's not working well together. Most of them know what they have to do. They just can't perform the way we expect them to perform. It doesn't mean lessen your expectations. You just have to have more patience, give them more structure and organized activities. They need to be able to release all that hyperactivity. It's a lot to be sitting in front of a TV or a device. They need to get outside.
But what would have happened if that ADHD child would have walked into the classroom, the teacher would have given the instructions, maybe given one at a time, or given 5 instructions, but supported that with a visual? Now, guess what? That defiant child can actually execute. So the big number one struggle for your kids in the classroom is that they're not getting the support that they need to thrive. And when they get the support, they can then thrive.
And it's hard because the educators are coming in young. They have no experience. They didn't, come up with a lot of kids. It's more than just learning from a book when you have to deal with these children. Because you have to be able to cooperate and communicate with the parents effectively. And as an educator, I think the first thing I want to know, I pretty much want kind of a biography of the child, so we can get to know your child. I need to know from you, because I don't want to label your child. But most educators are not like that. They're trained this way.
Bootcamp is all about understanding what your ADHD child needs to thrive and teaching you the strategies that they need so that you can tell them to your kids' teachers. We start on October 5th. It's a Thursday. Link in the comments below. It is amazing, and this is the kind of thing that you will learn.
Look for some resources. Use your search engine to, find people like these people, because this is the kind of stuff that comes up on my feed. I get a lot of knowledge. I get a lot of information, to help me be better, because I want to be better for our children and the children anybody I impact at any time, even on here. This is growth. This is a lot of years of growth and development. You never stop, and you can grow and develop. Yeah, some of y'all stop, for real. You're not lying.
First, you need to be much more consistent with your rules and consequences in raising this child than normal parents need to be. And that's not because you're going to engineer the ADHD out of the child. It's because you're going to make this child less disabled from their ADHD by doing that. ADHD is not information deficit disorder, so kindly shut up. Act, don't yak. The more you blather, the more you natter, the more you nag, the less influence you have. So stop thinking that one more sentence will be enough to tip the scales in favor of obedience. It isn't, right? If I can just say it one more time, I know he'll listen. So on the 20th time, there you are, fingers crossed behind your back. Okay. So say it once, then back it up. What these kids listen to more than anything are the immediate consequences, not the nattering, not the nagging, not the moral essays on why you should clean up your room to avoid meningitis. Right? Now, with ADHD children, you've got to get their attention. One of the easiest ways to do it, and also an affectionate way, is to touch them. So I want you to put your hand on their arm, on their hand, or around their shoulder. When you talk to them, I want you to look in their eye, and with that Clint Eastwood look, I want you to keep it short and sweet. What do you want done? What are you trying to say? Or is this positive feedback? Is this approval? Is this recognition? Is this praise? But touch, then talk. Keep it short, keep it sweet, get to the point, and then back it up.
Short and sweet. Children thrive better when they know what to expect. So try to prepare an environment for them where they know what's going to happen next. A schedule, a routine. It makes things go so much smoother. And what parent doesn't want a smooth transition? Some kids are challenged with transitioning just from one activity to the next, from getting up to getting dressed to brushing their teeth to moving to the next thing. Like some children really take that hard. But you have to be the parent to notice. You have to notice your child. You have to watch for. There was a lot of watch for this, watch for that, paying attention to detail. Because when someone asks you about your child, they need a lot of detail to help. Okay. I hope this has inspired some of you to do your own research. Take notes, make some change for the betterment of your child, your family, yourself, to help lessen the stress. Yeah. Good luck. And again, I appreciate all the comments to all the ladies and the fellas and the educators and the moms and the grandparents. Y'all are awesome. And they're still going back and forth, so appreciate it. He said, she said, Love and Abundance will be here Thursday with another great topic. We like to inspire people. See it, we hear it. Y'all appreciate it as well. Y'all have a great week. I hope this pushes you forward through the week. Everybody has a day off tomorrow, so prepare them kids to go to school on Tuesday. Get them prepared. Get them ready. The better they do, the better it'll be for all of us, right? Yeah. We're trying to create a decent, humane society, okay? Starts at home, okay? Train up them kids. Peace.
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
Hey, it's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
I'm Paul Stanley of KISS. It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
You see, baby, I don't do this just for the recognition. I do it for the children. You can take the children and bounce them on their knees. Bounce them on the knee and then sing a melody. The Varnell man, did you mean he's mine?
Everything in creation and in physical form has its own fundamental resonant frequencies. Everything in creation and in physical form has its own fundamental resonant frequencies.